There was once a young man named Arjun who tried and failed at almost everything he ever did. From the time he was a child, he had big dreams. He wanted to be successful, to make his parents proud, to live a life that mattered. But life never seemed to work out for him. No matter how hard he tried, things always seemed to fall apart. He failed his school exams more than once. He was laughed at by his classmates. Teachers said he was lazy, that he didn't try hard enough, that he wasn't going to amount to much. But it wasn't true. Arjun tried. He really did. He studied late at night. He pushed himself every day, but somehow the results never matched the effort. Slowly, he began to believe that maybe they were right, maybe he wasn't meant to succeed. Still, a small part of him refused to give up. After finishing school barely, he decided to start a small business. He saved money from odd jobs, borrowed a little from relatives, and opened a tiny shop that sold tea and snacks. He was full of hope, full of energy, but just 2 months later, the shop had to shut down. Rent was too high, customers too few. Once again, he had failed. His friends moved on. Some got jobs, others started families. Arjun kept trying. He tried to learn coding, but he couldn't afford the course fees. He applied for jobs, but no one hired him. He even tried working as a delivery boy, but his bike broke down and he couldn't fix it. There were days when he cried silently at night, not because he was weak, but because he was tired of failing, tired of trying, tired of always being left behind. His parents supported him as much as they could, but he could see the worry in their eyes. He could hear the whispers of neighbors, "He is not doing anything with his life." And every time he heard those words, they cut deeper. But despite it all, he kept waking up every morning. He didn't know why. Maybe it was stubbornness. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was just the habit of trying. One day, while scrolling through his old phone, he came across a video of someone who had once been homeless and was now a successful motivational speaker. The man in the video said something that hit him deeply. "It is not about how many times you fail. It's about the one time you don't." Those words stuck with him. Arjun didn't suddenly become successful after that, but something inside him changed. He stopped expecting things to happen quickly. He stopped comparing himself to others. He told himself, "Let me try one more time." He went to the local library every day and taught himself basic computer skills using old books. He watched free tutorials online, sitting for hours on borrowed Wi-Fi at a cafe. It was slow. It was difficult. Sometimes he didn't understand anything at all, but he didn't stop. Months passed. He created a small website just for practice, then another. He offered to build websites for local shops for free, just to gain experience. Some ignored him, some laughed, but a few gave him a chance. One day, a cafe owner liked his work and offered him a small payment for building a website. It wasn't much, but to Arjun, it meant everything. It was proof that he wasn't a failure, proof that his efforts were not meaningless. From there, things started to move slowly, unevenly, but forward. He got more clients through word of mouth. He kept learning, kept improving. There were still setbacks, clients who didn't pay, projects that didn't work out, days when he doubted himself again. But now, he had something he never had before: momentum. Years later, Arjun runs a small but growing digital agency. He employs a few people who, like him, once had nothing but a willingness to try. His parents smile with pride. His neighbors no longer whisper behind his back. They greet him with respect. One day, a young man who had been struggling came to him and asked, "How did you do it? You failed so many times. How did you keep going?" Arjun looked at him and smiled, the way only someone who has tasted failure can smile. He said, "I failed again and again, until one day, everything changed. But that day wouldn't have come if I had stopped trying the day before." He paused and added, "People think success is one big moment, but it's not. It's made of 1,000 small decisions who keep going, to try again, to believe in yourself when no one else does." The young man listened carefully. He had tears in his eyes, because he too had started to believe he wasn't meant for anything. Arjun placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You're not failing because you're not good enough. You're failing because you're still learning. Keep going. Your day will come." Arjun's story spread quietly through the town, not as a dramatic tale of overnight success, but as a quiet reminder that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the path. That sometimes the only difference between someone who succeeds and someone who doesn't is one more try. And so, Arjun's journey became a light for others. A story not of talent or luck, but of resilience. A story of a boy who failed again and again, until one day everything changed. Because sometimes it's the ones who fall the most who rise the highest.